Hello everyone, I'm Ray, the creator of Danganronpa Rejected Zero. I decided to create a video where I describe the available roles for the casting call project. If you want to audition, I recommend you watch this video so you can understand what I'm looking for. The CCC project page has a list of general expectations, so make sure you give that a read. With that introduction out of the way, let's begin. Anya Aoyama has always been described as a shy, anxious girl. I'd imagine her voice to be soft-spoken. She's the type to either have a natural, kind voice or a natural, nervous voice, depending on her mood. Anya's voice should have some degree of lightness rather than a strong voice. Now, I know in Danganronpa, it's common to have a girl voice to be squeaky high, but I'm going to let you know I'm not fond of those kind of voices. I am open to interpretations, but mentioning my taste shouldn't hurt. Venn. Venn is a bit of a unique case since he's a character with two distinct voices, mainly his online/public persona voice and his true voice. His persona voice is described to be princely, charming, and handsome AF. I'd say the pitch range falls under the mid-deep tones. While this version of his voice is handsome, it is also meant to be clearly honeyed. And then there is his true voice, aka the voice that is natural to him. I think the best way to describe it would be a college student who is dead on the inside and outside, whose voice reflects someone that clearly doesn't want to talk to people. The pitch range is still mid-deep, but it's meant to be less juicy, maybe a bit husky and dry, possibly also a little bit croaky, but nothing cartoonish. Now, for me, so long as there's a clear difference between the two voices, I think I'll be pretty reasonable when it comes to Venn. Masaru Tomita, everyone's favorite bastard child. So in terms of pitch range, I'm a little open to interpretations, but I'd say it's mid-deep to maybe deepish. One thing to note is that while he is very intimidating, his voice is not aggressive. Masaru's voice should sound mellow, a bit airy, sort of passive with a hint of intimidation. Masaru may go through some breaking points where he can sound angry and threatening, but overall, he tries to keep the same mellow tone. Ikahara Tsuyoshi. Ikahara Tsuyoshi is a character where I'm open to interpretations. I think Ikahara was created with the intent to have a mid-deep, masculine-esque voice, but again, I'm totally open. As for their voice personality, they are rather serious in the most honest way. Their delivery when speaking should be more direct, but they are more likely to have pauses when they speak so they can think about what they're saying. Maddlyn Hanes. If you've been watching the series, it's pretty obvious to say that Maddlyn Hanes shows clear signs of being depressed. She is relatively friendly and kind, but has low energy and low self-esteem. I would say her voice is mid-pitch range. I'd imagine her voice to be slightly mature-sounding rather than kiddish. Due to her low energy, her delivery at times is mostly slower than the normal tempo and a tad breathy. Lion Morishima. For Lion Morishima, I imagine her voice to have low energy with a dry, soft, Valley Girl accent. To be clear, not a cartoonish Valley Girl accent, but a soft one, as in her accent should not be strong. Her tone is rather dry, and when she is calm, she sounds quite mellow. However, when she is freaking out, she is clearly freaking out. I feel that a mid-pitched tone best suit her, but I am open to interpretations. Keiko Furuhata. Keiko Furuhata is a relatively high-energy girl. Compared to the other girls, I'd imagine her pitch range to be a little higher. Her main moods tend to be friendly, empathetic, and snarky. I am open to interpretations, but I imagine Keiko's voice to be a bit kiddish, not exactly immature, but that she has a bit of a childlike wonder to her voice. Hyota Shibasaki. Hyota Shibasaki is a very loud boy who wobbles with his emotions. He is easily frightened and tends to express that fear through loud reactions. Hyota's voice is the opposite of flat and the opposite of monotone. The tempo of his delivery can range from fast to slow depending on what kind of anxiety he is dealing with. Out of everyone, he is the one who stutters the most. As for pitch range, I'd imagine either mid-tones to mid-high tones. Maemi Onoe. Maemi Onoe is a high-energy girl, the friendliest kid among everyone else. She is very passionate and loving, and her voice should reflect that. She's the type to wear her heart on her sleeve. So even when Maemi is sad, it's just her being her honest self. She's the type to express a wide range of emotions, which is something to keep in mind. As for her pitch range, I'd say her voice should be deeper than the other girls. However, that doesn't mean she sounds more mature, just deeper. Sotaro Yoshioka. So I want to make this super clear, because while Sotaro is very open about being a gay man, I do not want a voice that sounds like a Hollywood stereotype. Sotaro is an honest but blunt guy. Sotaro's voice in my head sounds like a mid-pitch range. His voice is intended to be dry with a hint of croakiness. He can show emotions with his voice, but overall, his voice is a bit deadpan. When he's flirty, he does lose the deadpanness a little bit, but his dry and slightly croaky voice should still be present. Cameron At. Cameron is a very curious, high-energy girl. I'd imagine Cameron's voice to be non-feminine. Not necessarily masculine, but sort of a unisex kind of vibe. I'd imagine her voice to be friendly and playful, and a little bit of childlike wonder. Other than that, I'm open to interpretations. Fumihiro Shishido. Fumihiro is an aggressive, insecure young man. He is one of the more vulgar compared to the less vulgar class, so that's something to keep in mind. For Fumihiro, his voice range I'd say mid-pitch to mid-high pitch. One of the key points that I want to say is that he is obviously putting a tough guy act, so while he may sound angry at times, sometimes his anger does not sound confident. And that's it. It's amazing how short some of my videos are when I just purely script it and read from a script instead of deviating into rambles. Wow. Anyways, I'm still debating on how I want to go about Nekomi's voice, so right now she's just completely unavailable, but who knows, maybe in the future I'll make a video talking about how Nekomi's voice should sound. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.